Hey y'all, hey, welcome to Culinary Konversations. I'm so happy that you chose to join us today at the dinner table. Make sure that you comment, like, and subscribe if you haven't already. But before we dive in this conversation, Victoria, what are we sipping or eating on today? So like I told y'all, I am not only trying to get the skin right, trying to lose this weight, trying to remove these toxins and metals in my body, trying to get better overall health, especially my gut. I want optimal good health, okay? And this celery detox juice is gonna do just that. Today we'll be expanding on a conversation that I saw go viral on Instagram from Corey Holcomb. He stated that the kitchen is your hospital for your family. And I wholeheartedly agree. Let's check it out.
Your kitchen is supposed to be your hospital for your family. What kind of hospital your mama gave you? Little babies eating McDonald's fries all week.
I like that. That's a cold saying right there.
It's the truth. Your kitchen is supposed to be the hospital for your family. Your family is strong and healthy because of your kitchen.
The kitchen is often called the hospital for your family because it allows you to have the power to nurture our loved ones back to health through the food that we prepare. Just as the hospital is a place of healing and recovery, the kitchen serves as a hub where you can create meals to potentially heal, nourish, and rejuvenate our bodies. It's a place where we can take control of our family's health by creating nutritious meals and promoting healthy choices through our food. And speaking of healthy choices, so you remember I told y'all that my husband has been on his health kick. And I've also joined it as well by making sure that whatever I'm preparing, not only for me, but our entire household, like we've all been on a journey of making better choices, preparing things that are from raw foods and vegetables, not canned goods, not processed, not a lot of junk, not only with the things that we prepare our things in. I've been looking at my cookware. The things that we drink out of, the things that I meal prep our food in, like getting rid of a lot of plastic. And as you all can see, I'm drinking this out of a glass container. So I'm eliminating plastics as much as possible in our house. I am replacing a lot of the canned goods for frozen vegetables, frozen fruits, or fresh. I'm replacing a lot of our cookware that has the forever chemicals such as Teflon. So I'm literally holistically changing everything around us and with me and my family in our home. So where it's a place of free of chemicals, free of toxins, it's a place where we're promoting health, where we're actively getting the nutrients and minerals and the vitamins that we need daily. So that's what this is. This is my home health hub, the kitchen. And I want to encourage you to also do the same in your home as well. Nutrition is the foundation of good health. And it's so important that you're making sure that in the kitchen that you're optimizing your meals for your family, for you and your family, with essential minerals, vitamins, fiber, which are so abundant in so many ingredients. Ingredients such as, for example, fruits and vegetables. They provide essential vitamins and minerals. Lean meats offer protein and iron. Whole grains and nuts supply fiber and healthy fats. By understanding these nutrients and incorporating them into our meals, we can support our family's overall health and well-being. Some of the most recent things that I have been doing as far as incorporating with my family, making our own holistic medicine. So I prepared like a cough syrup recently where you can check it out right here. That was the first time that I've always kind of just been that person where I don't like to take over-the-counter medicines and things like that unless it's truly necessary. Like I do different things to try to just be proactive outside of taking my vitamins as well. So I really try not to rely on a lot of over-the-counter medicine. The reason why is it has artificial flavoring, food coloring. I've noticed like red 40 and those different dyes that are banned in other countries, but in United States, what's going on, USA? Like, why? you should definitely look into that, reading the labels, reading the ingredients, understanding what you're consuming when you're buying it, not just food, but your medicine, your vitamins, your everything, honestly. Even the lotion that you put on your skin, the soap that you're using to bathe your back, the bathe your behind. It's so many bad, I don't even want to say bad. It's so much thing. It's a lot of things that are in these products that are not good for us ultimately. And I'm not trying to produce fear in you. I'm not trying to produce anxiety in you. I'm just trying to just have a conversation with you on what I am doing for my family and how I'm trying to change the trajectory of health and well-being for my family and generations to come. I am not a licensed nutritionist, dietitian. I do have a background in public health. I've been working in public health for over 7 years. I worked in chronic diseases. I've worked in immunizations. I worked in obesity prevention. I've worked in tobacco education. I've worked in so many different facets in my public health career. However, I've always been passionate about this. So it was natural for me to want to incorporate this and to make these necessary changes for myself and for my family well-being. But even though I've already kind of naturally had that mentality or mindset, or at least it's been developed over the last 10 years, I know that for you, it may be different. It may be simply just throwing out the plastics and replacing your to-go containers with glassware. And that's the thing that you do within the first month of you making that first step, of you making that change. But it starts with your mindset and making sure it starts with changing your mind on how you look at things and educating yourself, but also remembering that it's one step at a time. It's one step at a time, because it is so much that you have to look at and consider. And like, is this good for me? Is this good for my son? Is this good for my child? Is this good for, should I put this in my body? Should I wear this lotion? Should I use this body wash? Should I take this medicine? Is this vitamin good to me? Oh, this is so many ingredients. I don't know what I'm reading. I don't know what I'm looking at. I need help. There are specialists out there, and I want you to consult those specialists who can really give you the guidance and help. I can list some in the show notes that I recommend that are doing phenomenal things, and they're licensed and they register and they're doing the research, and I highly recommend them. However, from my own personal experience, I remember when I reached out to someone who is holistic health specialist, and I was just so overwhelmed. Like, she told me to send a list of everything in my home that I use, from the candles to the lotion to the soap to the shaving cream to the toothpaste to the literally everything. She was like, nope, there's more? There's like everything. And when she gave me a list of all those terrible ingredients and chemicals that was in those products, I was like, I honestly just said, you know what? I'm still alive. My mama and them still alive. I'll be all right. And I for a second, I got overwhelmed and just said, forget it. But then I realized that, she did her job and she made me aware. And I'm just like, okay, I had to learn to dissect it in portions to where I can incorporate those changes over time. Because I understand sometimes you're just trying to get by. Sometimes you're just trying to, get it how you can and what you can afford. And I get that. And so I realized that in order for me to completely change everything in my entire home for my family and I, at that time, that was not something that I could afford to do. So I had to do it I had to do it in steps. And over the last 3 years, I've been able to incorporate those changes. But I just wanted to share that with you, and I just wanted to stress the importance of making sure that when you look at these things, that it doesn't overwhelm you. Like, I don't want to fear monger anyone out there. Like, I want to make sure that I am being transparent and authentic with this conversation and what I'm doing with me and my family. But baby girl, do what's best for you and you and yours, okay? You and yours. But I'm just sharing what has helped me. So one of the things that really initiated this true change was my granddad. He and I mentioned my granddad, and if for everyone that, if you know me, you know that my granddad was my heart. He passed in December 20, and he passed due to lung cancer, and that was his third battle. Yeah, that was his third battle with cancer. And I remember a time when my granddad, he was unwell during his battle of cancer. He passed in December. It was like July, August of 2020. And he couldn't eat much. He couldn't keep anything down. He didn't like food, basically. And during that time, my family and I, we recently found out from his doctor that he only may have a few weeks to live, few weeks or months to live. Now, God allowed him to surpass that for 6 months. He lived for 6 months after the report from the doctor. But after hearing that devastating news, my family and I came together to strategize on how we can change the trajectory of the news that was shared with us from his doctor. My mom and aunt, they started purchasing meals from a shelf that he prepared so that he can stop eating fast food. Because my granddad was somebody, at the time, he was a single man. So he would just go pick up something. He would cook sometimes, but he would eat a lot of fast food. Or processed food. My aunt would give him like different medicinal herbs and juices and smoothies from like a local holistic health shop. And I remember one of those weekends when we recently found out the news, when we were just coming together, just trying to really figure out how can we help with this. I drove to Birmingham, which is my hometown. I'm from Birmingham, Alabama, if you didn't know. And I prepared some homemade meals for him. And one of the things that I prepared for him was a big pot of homemade chicken noodle soup. At that time, because he wasn't able to keep much down, he really only was stomaching like soup and crackers. But he was eating canned soup. Lord have mercy, he was eating canned soup. And if you don't know, canned soups or can anything is really high in BPA. BPAs are connected to cancer. So if you can avoid canned foods, avoid it at all costs. BPA and all plastics are endocrine disruptors. They disrupt your endocrine system, and your endocrine system controls all the hormones in your body. So if you can avoid canned foods, please do. Please do. There are so many other healthier alternatives out there. Like, for instance, if you like canned fruit and vegetables, get frozen fruit, get frozen vegetables. If you like canned beans, get dried beans. Soak them bad boys overnight and cook them the next day. And if you're somebody you're a busy mom, you're a busy dad, trust me, I get it. Bulk prepare those items. So like, for instance, I have bulk prepare a ton of beans, like kidney beans, black beans, pinto beans, and chickpeas. So when you're bulk preparing, you can freeze it in portions, and then on another day when you just need something to add to your soup or whatever the case may be, you can take it out that day and thaw it and eat it that day. So when you need something quick, and you bulk prepare and you freeze the portions that you're actually going to use, so that you can just take it on out that day. You don't have to prepare it that day. You just have to thaw it out, or the night before, so it can be thawed out, and you already have something prepared. Whether it's the beans, and not only just with beans, you can do it with all of your meals, honestly. Stop eating those canned soups. Just make it yourself and freeze it in portions that you can use for later. That way that you're not eating the canned soups. Because one of the things with the canned soups, the contents that's in the can, whether it's fruit, vegetables, soup, whatever, the plastic that's in the lining, your food is absorbing that. So we don't need that. We don't need that in our bodies because we don't need it to disrupt our endocrine systems, which controls all the hormones in our body. So leave it alone. Avoid it if you can. Now, I'm not perfect. I'm someone who still sometimes use it, but I limited it. So one thing about me, I call myself the lazy, health conscious queen. Okay. I am very aware of a lot of the things that's in the food, but I also am trying to figure out my balance in my life. And sometimes life be life and I can just be all over the place and I just need to get something on the stove and ready for dinner. So I have my moments. Shoot, recently I prepared a chicken tortilla soup and that thing was busting. But best believe, guess what? I used canned soups in that moment because I was literally just trying to hurry up and get something on the stove and get something prepared for my family and I. So you're going to have your days where you're going to, choose a canned item. Trust me, I get it. I'm not perfect. I'm still on this journey of trying to eliminate all those things. Like I said before, it's a process. It's a process. I'm on the journey. I ain't all the way there yet, but I'm on the journey. I do have my moments where I still use canned goods, but I for sure limit it. I have different limited when it comes to different soups. When I'm trying to get something quick, I would do it, but it's rare. It's very rare. Usually I would try to just prepare the dried beans or whatever it is that is needed. Now, another alternative is if you want some soup and you don't want to prepare it and make it yourself, or you don't have time and you're not feeling well, but you need something right now, you can get carton soup. That's a better option when you get the soup out of a carton. And I think Pacific Foods is one of the brands that have it in a carton. The best option is where I've noticed with Ruse, I think that's the name of the brand, RAO''S. They have their soups in glass, which is the best option. So if you need to buy something in the store and you need something quick, that is a great alternative. You can do the better option, which is a carton soup, or the best option, which is a glass soup. But back to that homemade meal that I prepared for my granddad, because I didn't want my granddaddy drinking canned soup. So I made him homemade chicken noodle soup. And I remember when he took that first bite, that first spoonful, and his whole face just lit up with joy. And that's another special thing about when you're making your meals yourself, preparing your food yourself. The love, the immense comfort that goes into preparing something for yourself. And I know for my granddad at that time, the comfort and love and nurture and happiness that he received during those moments of my aunt, my mom, and I coming together to really making sure that he's prioritizing his health during a difficult time really put a smile on his face. Imagine you doing it every day for your family and yourself, and putting and making sure that whatever you're feeding your loved ones or whether you're feeding yourself is something that you can confidently say that it's going to nurture that person. It's a beautiful feeling. And that moment reminded me of the healing power of not just the ingredients, because you have the things that I put in there, the celery, the carrots, the homemade broth, the different things that I put in that soup, but also the love and care that goes into cooking for someone you cherish. So one of the things as far as for my legacy, I want to pass down generational health. I want to be able to pass down the education to my son and my future kids, the importance of why we choose to drink and eat the things that we do. I want him to know at a young age, at an early age, that mommy loved me enough to prepare prepare my juice fresh, my applesauce fresh, and like giving him nutritious based meals as often as I possibly can. Again, I'm not perfect. It be time where I'm like, okay, you're gonna get a Chick-fil-A kids meal today, or we're going to Chipotle and get you a kids meal. But for the most part, I try to make sure that for me, because it really starts at home, and I think it's important with my child that he learn this early, because he won't have to unlearn this as he gets older, and he'll understand the reason why he needs to make these choices when he's not in mommy's presence or daddy's presence, and understand the effects looks like of him having more than 20 plus grams of sugar in one day, or he's drinking some, or he's eating a piece of candy and it makes him crash and he doesn't feel good, or he has a tummy ache. Like, he's gonna experience things that children experience, and I'm not gonna limit that. I'm going to allow him to have a piece of candy or this and that here and there. I'm going to moderate that as much as I possibly can, but I'm not going to completely take that away from him. But what I'm going to do is educate him and encourage him to make the right choice of choosing something that's healthier, that's nutrient dense ingredients, that's going to rejuvenate him, that's going to refuel him, that's going to give him energy, that's going to truly nurture him. And that's something that I want to, for sure, with my legacy, I want to make sure that I pass that down to him, my son, and to my future kids. And all my family and friends, and y'all as well. Y'all my family too. Like, I want to see the changes in y'all as well. I want to see, and I'm hoping that I'm inspiring and encouraging you to make those changes, whether it's a small change, like I mentioned, changing your plastic containers to glass containers, or it's a much bigger change where you invest in a juicer, you're juicing all your juices, and you're not drinking sodas anymore. Because that's one of the things that I noticed when we finally invested in a great juicer with my husband, is he's someone who loves ices, slushies, sodas, high sugar juices that just don't have anything that's gonna refuel him. And when I started making these juices for him and making sure that we have it on stock, that so he can just grab it, it has really made a difference in his body. He's dealing with less bloating. I can tell that he has more energy. I can tell even his skin looks great. Like, it's just so many different things that I just noticed a change from the brain fog, like just in his everyday life, by making those changes. And hopefully you're encouraged and inspired to do the same, or if you're already on a journey, keep going. I know if you experience anything like me, where I realized it hit me all at once of everything that I needed to change, just remember that, to just take it one step at a time, one day at a time. But the fact that you just taking the steps and changing that trajectory for you and your family, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. And I want to, before I close out, I want to give you guys a few steps, because I know I want to give you guys a few takeaways and a few steps on really can help you in making those changes now. Something that you can do now. And the first step is research and educate yourself on suitable substitutions and safe ingredients. Number 2, meal planning is crucial. For you to stay on track at least 5 days out the week, you need to make sure that you are meal planning, that you are prepping ahead of time, because you're going to have moments. Life be lifing. I get it. I get it. And in order for you, and I noticed for me personally, when life be lifing and I got a ton of other things I need to do, I would quick fast in a hurry go pick something up just to make sure that, I checked off dinner for the night. But I noticed when I'm still busy and still have things that I need to do and take care of, but I also need to prioritize family dinner, when I already have it prepped, or when I have something in the freezer where I know, okay, I'm not going to be able to cook today, I think about it the night before, take it out, and then be ready for us to eat. So it's just having something always in the fridge. Another thing that I do is I make sure that it may not make sense, but it works for us. So I make sure that I meal prep some type of protein, some type of, I don't know if it's the Guinean in me, but we have rice a lot. Or we have rice a lot and a vegetable. So protein, rice, and a vegetable, that's 3 things that I'm going to make sure at least it's going to be in the fridge. Sometimes I would double it, where it's 2 proteins, a starch, and 2 vegetables, so that you can rotate out. But I don't overcomplicate meal planning, because honestly, it's just really just trying to make sure that I get it done and making sure that it's still a nutritionist dense meal prepared for my family that they're easily can readily get out. Thirdly, you got to read these labels. Label reading is a must. Label reading is a must. If you're going to buy things that are boxed, if you're going to buy whatever it may be, you want to make sure you're reading the labels. And you want to educate yourself on, if it's something that you're not familiar with, Google it, baby. Google it. And just find out more about what that is that you're putting in your body, that you're choosing to put in your kid's body. Like, read y'all labels, y'all. Read them labels. Fourthly, when you go into the grocery store, shop outside aisles first. If you got to go in the inside aisles, read the labels. But shop outside aisles, which is your produce, your whole fruits, raw vegetables, your produce, your things that are nutritionist based. Nutritionist that has all the essential ingredients of the minerals and vitamins that you need. And you have on the outside or the other side, depending on your grocery setup, but it's usually typically the same. You have your meats, your proteins, and things like that. Out in the middle aisles, you have your dried beans, your canned beans, etc. Your starches, your rice, your grains, different things like that. But typically, you want to make sure that you're focusing on grabbing most of your items on the outside aisles. And lastly, my final tip for you guys: involve the whole family when you cooking. You ain't gotta cook it by yourself, sis. Involve your family in meal preparation. Not only does it create a supportive environment where you're not feeling like you're doing it all by yourself, because the days of being overworked and doing everything, mama, baby, take that cape off. You ain't got to do everything. You ain't got to do everything by yourself. It's okay. So involve your family. And not only does it create a supportive environment, but y'all are bonding. And you're able to provide the education on why you're choosing those ingredients and why you're preparing it this way. It also makes everyone feel included. So when you're meal prepping, ask them, what is it that you want? What do you want to eat? And okay, that's what you want. Let's prepare it together. Everyone feels included. Everyone feels valued. Everyone feels supportive. And it just makes the process easier and funner. and it doesn't fall just on one person. So that's my final tip. So I hope you enjoyed this conversation that we had today. I hope you decide that, I need to make some changes for my family and I. I want to change the way I'm eating. I want to change the things that I'm putting in my body that's not refueling my body, that's not nurturing your body, that's not rejuvenating your body, that's not nourishing your body. Thank you for watching this episode of Culinary Conversations, and until next time, bye.